The basic combat methods of PvE combat and PvP vary significantly. PvE consists of fighting non-player characters, or NPC computer characters, and typically puts the pilot in a situation where he is outnumbered. It is common to design ships to withstand incoming fire for extended periods of time while balancing defense with damage output. PvP combat often takes place in a much faster pace and does not allow time for the pilot to regenerate or repair their damage they are incurring. When facing other players in combat, increase one's ship's hit points, and using electronic warfare to debuff and disabling the enemy vessel can prove extremely effective. In this tutorial, we will talk about 3 key aspects of combat: logistics, weapons, and electronic warfare. Logistic ships are designed to assist other ships within the fleet. Logistic ships can use the following 4 abilities in combination. The abilities are shield transfer, remote armor repair, tracking link, and energy transfers. Shield transfer modules regenerate the shield hit points of members in the fleet. Shield transfer modules are often used by Minmatar and Caldari ships. Remote armor repairs can repair damages done to your fleet members. These modules only repair the hit points after their cycle is completed. As a result, there is a delay between the activation of the module and the hit points being regenerated on the fleet member. Tracking links improve the tracking speed of the targeted ship. This often equates to better accuracy and the fleet member having a better chance at shooting fast-moving targets. Energy transfer modules are most often used by Amarr and Gallente ships and can regenerate the capacitor points of a fleet member. As long as one has the thermodynamic skill trained, you can overload modules. Overloading gives the modules much higher performance than normal. However, this gives a great deal of stress and damages the modules in the process. If the module sustains too much damage, it will become offline and cannot be used until repaired at a station. It is a tactic often saved as a last resort or to be used in PvP. Nanite repair paste may be used in order to repair the damage. Railguns, like the blasters, are considered as hybrid weapons. Even though they use the same ammunition types as the blasters, railguns have one of the longest ranges in the entire game. It, however, has the downside of being one of the weakest damage output weapons, and also having a terrible tracking speed. Thus, when an enemy comes too near, it often has trouble hitting them. Railguns are most often used by the Caldari race. Blasters are most often used by the Gallente race. It unfortunately has the shortest range of all the weapons that exist, but it also has one of the highest damage output and tracking speed. This means that it has a very high probability of hitting the target once the ship is in optimal range of its weapons. For small versions of this weapon, this can mean anywhere from 2 kilometers to 800 meters. Projectiles are one of the most versatile weapons in the game. Often used by Minmatar, they have 2 different types of artillery and autocannons. By swapping out ammo, Minmatar weapons are able to use all 4 damage types and dynamically change them during battle. Though this makes Minmatar weaponry very difficult to defend against, becoming proficient using all the types of ammunition requires a lot of practice, as changing ammunition types can change your optimal range every time. Lasers, often used by Minmatar, are one of the most simplest of weapons in EVE Online. Though requiring tremendous amounts of capacitor power, and only being able to deal EM and thermal damage, lasers still are a very effective weapon. They have a relatively high damage output, they never need to be reloaded, and by switching out crystals, lasers can change their optimal range and their damage output at will. Missiles and drones have much in common. The user can choose which of the 4 damage types to use at any given time. They can be launched from the ship, and also is possible to be shot down. Caldari often use missiles, and there are various types and sizes depending on the target. With the availability of the new drone damage amplifier modules, drones are an even more effective form of weapon for the Gallente to use. The two types of electronic warfare that works on NPCs are webifiers and target painters. Webifiers slow the propulsion speed of the enemy craft, and target painters increases the enemy ship's signature radius, thus making it easier to hit. When engaging in PvP, it is very important to have warp disruptors. By disabling the enemy's engines, you can prevent it from warping away and escaping. Caldari often use ECM, which temporarily disables the enemy's ability to lock target. Sensor dampeners is often used to decrease the targeting range of the enemy ship. Energy neutralizers and energy vampires attacks the capacitor of the enemy ship. Rendering the enemy dry of capacitor often disables all weapon system and defenses. Tracking disruptors lowers the accuracy of the enemy's turrets. To engage the enemy, it is very important to find the enemy, orbit at optimal range of your weapons, engage your electronic warfare, and then commence your attack.